Hey, what's up guys, it's me Sid, or Ichigo, whichever one you prefer. Finally bringing back some of those videos I was talking about in our little live intro. Well, it's not really live, but in the recorded video I did earlier about, welcome to the RPG, all that stuff. So now I'm pretty much going to be talking more or less about character design and how you can actually create whatever character you want and fit them into this universe as far as their techniques are concerned and all that stuff, because I've been getting a lot of questions regarding techniques and how can someone create the character that they want, or at least give themselves the base structure for the character that they want, if they pick a more complicated character such as Alucard, which is in Josh's case, which I think he's doing his joint form as Zack Fair or somebody, some Final Fantasy character. I'm not big into Final Fantasy, so I don't really know shit about it, other than Sephiroth as OP. But anyway, so yeah, we're going to be doing a series, probably going to be more than like 5 videos, maybe 5 videos to do. It's going to be similar to the Friend or Foe survival guide that we did, that basically had a breakdown of every section in the or everything in the information section. And today we're pretty much, or at least in this series, we're going to be talking about, or I'm going to be talking about whatever, talking about kind of how the join form works with the information section, and there's just the different things you'll want to consider when you make your character. So first off, let's go straight into the idea of how canons work. I know I mentioned this before, but I want to make sure that everyone understands this. When you pick a canon character, such as Ichigo, Naruto, I don't know why I'm naming all Naruto characters, because that's all that's coming to mind right now, Madara, Tobi, Kakashi, Superman, Iron Man, etc., etc., all these, pick any canon character. That canon character is not the canon character from your Receptive series. What I mean by that? Well, basically, when you pick a face or canon character, it's just a face claim and a name claim. You can do whatever the hell you want with that character. It does not matter. You could have them being a drugged out, freaking, living on a street street corner hobo type of character if you want. Screw it, one take. I'm not even gonna chop that out. But you could, make them do whatever you think is gonna work for your character, whatever you think is gonna fit with the universe the best. That's what you should do. Now, you should refrain from using references to your actual universe. When I say references to your actual universe, I mean, for example, if you're Sasuke, I'm not throwing you under the bus or anything, but if you're Sasuke, you probably shouldn't be mentioning Itachi at all. Because, for example, if Itachi joins and they're like, I don't know, they make up some parents and their own little family of NPCs or whatever, Sasuke is automatically screwed story-wise, because Itachi may not want jack shit to do with him. I mean, yeah, you can work something out with when you see someone who joins from your Receptive universe and see if they want to do some sort of thing where you guys know each other or are related or whatever. But just keep in mind, when you first create that character, exclude all the other characters unless they're like really minor, that people that that no one's really, you think that no one's gonna take and you're willing to take the chance. That's okay. For example, if you're Commander Shepard and you kind of want to see, use Miranda or Tali or the Solarian, I can't remember his name right now, you can. But just keep in mind that if someone joins as them, I mean, small possibility, but it could happen, then you're probably going to be screwed if they don't want anything to do with you. So the best thing to keep in mind is, when you pick a canon, make as much custom stuff as you possibly can before you start pulling from, specifically from your Receptive universe. That's pretty much what I'm doing with Ichigo, just to give a little feedback from my character. The only canon character in his history is Misaki, his mother. Why? Because I'm pretty sure no one's going to join as Misaki Kurosaki, and if they do, then it's not that big a deal. There's a lot of ways, because for Ichigo she's dead, but there's a lot of ways to kind of go around that with a universe as expansive as ours. So, yeah, that's the biggest thing when you're picking a canon character, is to make as much custom crap as you possibly can at the beginning. Now, moving on into your move selection or your technique creation, because this is where we have a lot of hiccups. First, I think it is getting kind of clear that this is how it works, but just to go into it again, when you make custom techniques, you still have to follow that chart that's listed on the technique chart thing in the information section. Now, what I mean by that is, alright, so you have 2 basics, which, if you have 2 basics, then you can create 1 advance. If you have 2 advance, you can create 1 finisher. You get 300 BP, which is enough BP to max out your 2 basics and your 1 advance, right? But that doesn't mean you're limited to just that, because some people, like Nira, I think, or Ayami, whatever, she has like 6 or 7 techniques. She has a shit ton of techniques. Her and Ryu both, because of the way they spent their BP. So depending upon how you spend it and break it up, you know, you can do it. You can pretty much do anything with the techniques that you want. Now, the techniques cannot be clones of the I was about to say canon, the site canon techniques that are listed. Okay, so if you make a technique, you can try and make like a variation of what you see there, like the Aura Blast, which is basically just a Ki Blast or Energy Blast, the Aura Blast, the Aura Wave Blast, whatever. You can make variations of that, change up the name, change up the description, lessen or increase the damage, whatever. You can do that, but I don't want to see basically you copy and paste the summoning move, change one word, and say this is my custom. No, if you're gonna make a custom, it has to have some noticeable difference between the custom move and the site move. Now, site moves are really meant to give you direction. If you don't have the site move already on your roster, if you don't learn it, the site canon move, then your custom cannot exceed the power of that move. What I mean by that is, this is mainly for controls, by the way, but what I mean by that is, okay, if you don't have summoning, right, the other option, if you want to be a summoner type character, is to create basics, advanced, and finisher moves that summon some creature, some whatever you're aiming to summon, that does one attack for you and then goes away right after. So it's just an extension of yourself, right? And if you have a summoning based character as well, one thing you can do for your physicals and your you know, the attacks on the attack chart, which is like punch, kick, elbow, knee strike, slam, etc., etc., you can just have like a ghost aspiration, I can't talk right now, like a ghost or some sort of creature or something pop up around you and do those movements for you. If you ever played Jump Superstars, which I doubt it, that's how Yugi fights. When you go to use physical attack, he summons like Celtic Guardian. He comes out, does a slice and goes away. Summons like Gaia the Knight. I can't remember my Yu-Gi-Oh monsters anymore. The Gaia, the dude on the horse. Right, he summons him, he does an attack. Summons Dark Magician, summons Dark Magician Girl, etc., etc. So if you have a summoner type character, which I know some of you have been asking me, oh, how do I create this? Well, that's how you do it. Alright, until you get the summoning technique control, you can't make a summon that comes in, stays for the rest of the battle until it dies. The only difference is now, you know, all you can do is just make moves for them. They can come in and block something for you, go right away. You know, so that's how they're gonna function if you don't have the summoning technique, which I don't even remember what planet it's on, but if you don't have that's how it's going to work if you don't have the technique. So that was another big thing. Now, another thing that I've got a couple messages about was shape-shifting characters. What do you do if your character is not a Naruto-like shapeshifter or something of that nature, to where you just transform and it's just for disguise and stuff like that? And, you know, it would make sense if you get punched in the face, hit with an energy attack, or an elemental, that your transformation is broken. But if you're a character that transforms on the regular, what you can do is make their transformations your awakening. Now, every character starts with that augmented aura awakening, which is plus 75% all stats or physical stats when you activate it, right? So what that means is you can just make, you know, your awakening into, if your character turns into like wolves or some shit, or is a Lycan, right? A werewolf. A Lycan, and they transform into their woven form, that can be their shape-shifting ability, and that works for everybody. But keep in mind, you're only going to start with one shape-shifting move. So if your character is heavily based around shape-shifting, you are forced, and this is on purpose, you are forced to actually progress in this RPG. Meaning, you pick your baseline, and then for the next forever, however long the RPG is open, I'm just going to say forever, for, you know, whatever reason, but forever, you know, that's your baseline, and then you're just going to be building off of that. As the RPG grows, because we are currently, or at least I'm currently, working out the shelf of patch, which me and the staff are going to be working on, etc., etc., and there will be new things coming to the RPG, so, you know, there will be tons of room for progression, which what you're seeing right now is, while it may seem like there's a lot of stuff, there's more coming. So, you know, you guys will have tons and tons of opportunities to progress your character in this universe. So that's pretty much it in the regards to techniques. Those are the biggest things I've been getting questions about. It's pretty, I think everyone's starting to understand that how the technique system works when you spend BP, but I guess I should go into controls, because that's another aspect of the RPG that people are a little iffy about. So controls, what the hell are controls in the first place? Well, control techniques are basically your supplementary techniques, moves that you will use to reduce action costs, to raise damage for other moves, to avoid stuff like after image, etc. You know, so that's what it's for. It's not meant to deal any outward damage. It's only meant to save your ass and augment other attacks that you have, right? So that's what you'll be doing with control techniques. And oh my god, my cat's at my door. I hope you guys can't hear him through my mic, but if you can, oh well. But anyway, so that's how controls work. Okay, controls are just meant to supplement your current abilities and potentially debuff your opponent. You know, that's as far damage-wise as you're going to get with a control is debuffing, which isn't really damage. I mean, it's just lowering their stats so you can do more. Now, the cost of controls. The cost is whatever you want it. Okay? The more you put into it, the more I'm going to say, yeah, you can do that because you're expending 50 points of dexterity to, you know, absorb part of someone's soul and add it into your own for a power boost or something, you know? So, you can make them not OP, but you can make them pretty powerful if you go and put the effort into it, put the BP into it. Now, right now, because we don't have any mock stat battles up, which will start probably next week, because I want everybody to at least get situated with a couple things before we start doing mock stack battles. So I'm thinking I'll start it on Monday. I'll have post signups Monday morning, Monday night, something, and you know I'll go into that a bit later. But basically, the way controls are going to work is you're going to want to look at the stat system or the battle system and decide what will benefit your character play style. If it's reducing some actions here or there, increasing actions, etc., etc. So that's the key for controls, is looking at the stat system. And I think that's pretty much all I need to really cover for this video, which I said, you know, we're going to be talking about pretty much everything required in character building. Right now, this is really just right off the bat join form. Oh yeah, something I kind of sort of forgot. When you first join, you pick an elemental technique. That elemental avoids that 500 acuity requirement. So basically, the 500 acuity, it doesn't matter. You can use your elemental if you're less than 500 acuity, if you started with it. But that also means that it's going to take you longer than person B to potentially get level 2. Potentially. Or it could work out to be about the same amount of time, depending upon, you know, what's going on and how you treat your character. So that's just one thing, additional thing that you guys should keep in mind. If you started with your elemental, you can use it all you want, and stat battle doesn't matter. The 500 requirement is way for you. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Next video, I'll probably be talking about the specific functions of awakenings and their benefits and all that stuff. And soon I will be including intros and outros to our videos and whatnot. Just have to have the time to do that. In the meantime, check out my gaming channel, which has all that stuff that I just mentioned, the intro, outro, and sexy gameplay. And I'm Sid, and I'm out. Peace.